Yoon Yeol, a former top lawyer for the government, became South Korea's president in May 2022. His win wasn't by much, showing how split the country was politically. Yoon, a conservative, promised to fix the economy and be tough on North Korea. He became known for his strong ways, reminding people of his time as a tough prosecutor. Some people liked his direct style, but others didn't, which made things difficult right from the start. Yoon's first few months as president were full of arguments and problems. His approval ratings dropped fast. People who didn't like him said he acted like a dictator and didn't know how to run a country. His supporters, though, liked that he made quick decisions and kept his promises. As 2024 began, South Korea had a president facing lots of opposition and a public very divided about his leadership. It was the beginning of a big fight that would test South Korea's democracy. The first signs of a big political problem appeared in late November 2024. Rumors spread of unhappiness in the military, with secret leaks saying Yoon's administration was corrupt and abusing its power. Things got worse fast on December 3rd. Yoon, worried about a possible military takeover, declared martial law. This shocked South Korea. Opposition parties were angry and other countries were worried. Yoon's martial law didn't last long. The Constitutional Court, which decides if laws are okay, quickly stopped it. People were furious, and huge protests started all over the country. Seeing Yoon was in trouble, opposition lawmakers started impeachment proceedings, saying he tried to take too much power and broke the Constitution. What started as quiet complaints had become a huge crisis, and South Korea's future was uncertain. On December 14, 2024, South Korea watched nervously as its National Assembly voted on whether to impeach President Yoon. The room was tense. Everyone knew this was important. Millions of people watched on TV. After hours of arguing and emotional speeches, the vote happened. The speaker announced the result. The National Assembly voted to impeach President Yoon. Everyone gasped. Even though people expected it, it was still historic. It was only the second time a South Korean president had been impeached. Now, the Constitutional Court had to decide whether to remove Yoon from office. The impeachment charges against Yoon Yeol were very serious. The most serious one was insurrection, because he tried to impose martial law. Prosecutors said Yoon's actions on December 3rd were an illegal power grab, trying to go around the Constitution and rule like a dictator. Besides the martial law issue, Yoon faced many other accusations of abusing his power. These charges, while not as serious as insurrection, showed a president who wasn't following the rules of democracy. There were claims of corruption, silencing critics, and ignoring the law. As the impeachment trial got closer, the prosecutors prepared to show the court why Yoon should be removed from office. The Constitutional Court had a very difficult job: decide the future of the presidency and South Korea. The court has 9 judges, and their decisions are very powerful, but the court had problems too. 3 judge positions were empty, making things even more complicated. The 6 remaining judges knew this was a huge responsibility, and everyone was watching them. Their decision, due within 180 days of the impeachment vote, would be very important for South Korea's future. Everyone waited anxiously. The court was a symbol of hope and fairness during a chaotic time. Even with all the pressure, Yoon refused to quit and promised to fight the impeachment. His lawyers, a strong team, prepared a strong defense. They argued that the prosecution was wrong and that Yoon was a victim of political games, not a dictator. Yoon's main defense was that martial law, while maybe too strong, was necessary to stop a real threat. His lawyers said the rumors of a military takeover were true and he had to act. They said he had to make a very hard choice in a difficult situation. Yoon's lawyers also denied the corruption and abuse of power charges, saying they were political attacks to hurt him. Yoon's impeachment wasn't the first time this happened in South Korea. Past impeachments were on everyone's mind. In 2016, Park Geun-hye, South Korea's first female president, was impeached for corruption and abuse of power. Her removal from office after huge protests and a scandal involving the government and big businesses shocked the country. Park's impeachment, confirmed by the court in 2017, showed that even the president is not above the law. Yoon's case, while different, was similar to Park's. Both involved abuse of power, loss of public trust, and disappointment with politicians. As South Korea faced another possible impeachment, what happened to Park Geun-hye reminded everyone that power is not permanent and democracy is important. Yoon's impeachment showed how divided South Korea was. The country was split, mostly by political beliefs and unsure about the future. In Seoul and across the country, the political drama unfolded. Yoon's supporters held rallies, wearing conservative colors and chanting against the impeachment. They believed Yoon was a good leader being unfairly attacked. On the other side, anti-Yoon protesters, many of whom protested after martial law was declared, wanted him to resign immediately. They thought Yoon was dangerous for democracy, someone who wanted to stay in power no matter what. As the impeachment trial went on, these different viewpoints were everywhere, in the news, on social media, and in arguments all over South Korea. As the Constitutional Court made its decision in private, South Korea waited anxiously. The court's decision would be very important, not just for Yoon, but for the entire country. If the court agreed with the impeachment, Yoon would be removed from office, becoming the president with the shortest time in office in South Korean history. There would be a new election within 60 days, making things very uncertain. If the court didn't agree with the impeachment, Yoon would stay president, but he would be much weaker and face a divided country. South Korea's problems went beyond just the president. The impeachment showed deep political and social divides, raising important questions about the rule of law, presidential power, and South Korean democracy itself. As the nation waited for the court's decision, everyone knew the future would be difficult, a reminder of how hard it is to build and keep a strong democracy.